The Secret Misses. Chapter 741. Oh, okay. Luna had been feeling all right just now, but she was a little nervous now, unsure of where to put her hands. Boss, can you wait for me a while? Theo stayed silent. She looked into Theo's fiery eyes. I just wanted to check on how this works. How embarrassing. She acted like she was a know-it-all just now. She intended to get away with it now, but her mind went blank. She needed to be recharged. The next moment, there was a metal clanking sound. It was the sound of Theo's metal belt as he was taking it off. In that narrow space, it worked as a catalyst, warning her of what was about to unfold. Theo felt like he would never let her go. He pressed her hand on his bulge, his sweat becoming hot on Luna's tender fingers. The heat coming from him could almost melt her skin, and his voice sounded deeper than usual. You don't have to check, I'll teach you. With her palms directly touching his manhood, Luna felt like her hands were on fire. In the end, she was rooted to the spot and barely made any movement of her own will, the devil initiating the whole process by moving her hands in the way he had so longed for them to. After some time, Theo used a hot towel and carefully wiped the girl's hands. Are you all right? Luna found her tongue and said in a troubled voice, My hands are tired. Her legs were already injured and now her hands were almost out of commission as well. Well, she did offer to help. She had underestimated the devil's power. How naive of her. She was suddenly afraid of what would happen when she actually got round to doing it. I'm sorry. Theo kissed her forehead gently. He looked lazily at her like a beast that had just finished his delicious meal. Despite his outward coldness, there was a slight sense of sensuality about him, and he was much more seductive than usual. Luna was dumbfounded. Damn! The devil was just too beautiful. This was the upgraded version of him. She suddenly felt that it might not have been so bad to sacrifice a hand for this after all. It would be a pleasure for anyone to die in the arms of such a beauty. Theo held Luna in his arms and moved her to the bed as he lay down right next to her and spoke to her, not letting go of her. Why did Stacy come? Luna's expression darkened a little. It was some bad news for me, but might be good to you. Do you remember the script that I liked a lot and spent quite some time to convince you to let me cast in? I remember. I didn't get it. You didn't want me to act in it, did you? Theo nodded slightly. Good news indeed. There were too many dangerous scenes in the script. Although stunt doubles could be used, Luna was sure to volunteer to perform them personally. Luna glared at the man. She felt that the devil must really possess magical powers. She remembered Theo telling her, You've only convinced me now. If you failed the audition, I won't help you, understood? What happened was way worse. She did not even get to audition. Chapter 742. Looking at the disappointment on her face, Theo ran his fingers through her hair, reassuring her, You'll find something better. Luna took his words as just an obligatory comfort. She still felt regretful not being able to participate in the audition. Actually, even if she was given the chance to audition, she might fail if they prepared an action scene. With the current leg injury, she would not pass for sure. Too bad for her. She hoped that the devil's words would come true and that she could find something better. Sensing her unhappiness, Theo said in a gentle tone, I'll take you out on a date tomorrow. Luna's eyes twinkled brightly. Really? What are we doing? Horse riding, skiing, parachuting, or shooting practice? Theo stared at her quietly. Looking at sceneries. Luna went silent. Sceneries. Luna's face was full of dread. Okay, as long as I'm together with you, boss, it'll be fun even if we're just watching TV together. Luna optimistically went along. She was lucky she even got a chance to go out. Okay, rest earlier. I'll come and get you tomorrow morning. Alright, good night. On the way back, while Theo was driving, his phone rang. Theo saw Jake's name flash on the screen. He put on his Bluetooth earphone and picked up the phone. Hello. An excited voice came through. Theo, we're having a singles party tomorrow. Only close friends are invited. Want to join us? Theo replied without even considering, no. Willow just came back. Just take this as a welcome party for her, Jake persuaded. Next time. This week was critical for him. He could not waste his time on meaningless things. Jake did not give up his persistence. There's going to be a lot of pretty ladies here. There are some that look similar to that chick. Some are even prettier than her. You don't have to just stick to one tree. Just change your target. No. Jake was frustrated. You're really not coming. I've told them that you'd come. What have you been doing at home all day? Don't tell me you need to work. There isn't much going on in your company lately. After Jake finished his rant, Theo replied, your theme doesn't suit me. What do you mean? The theme doesn't suit you? Jake was confused. I'm not single. Jake was speechless. After a brief moment of silence, a thunderous roar came through the phone. What? Theo. You found yourself a girlfriend without telling me? So much for being friends. You traitor. Jake wished he could burn Theo alive right then. It had only been a few months since he heard Theo had someone he liked, and even then, he already felt he was hallucinating. Now, the unthinkable had happened. Theo personally told him that he got a girlfriend. The legendary single man Theo left the rank of the singles. Jake was at a loss. Jake spoke hurtfully, you have to come tomorrow. Bring her over. And you can introduce her to everyone. I can't possibly be the only one stung by this news. Obviously, the last sentence was the main point. I'm not available tomorrow. Don't lie to me. What are you going to do? I'll be out dating. Jake had no words. Chapter 743. The next morning, Theo went over to fetch Luna. Seeing the girl standing by the entrance, his expressionless face became warmer. Luna usually wore casual outfits and sometimes even manly outfits. However, today she wore a fluffy pink dress with a thick, white down hooded jacket. Her slightly wavy hair had been straightened and she wore the pink heart-shaped crystal hairpin little treasure had given her. She even had a pair of pink boots with rabbit ears on her feet. In a nutshell, she looked exactly like an obedient little bunny. Because this outfit contrasted greatly with her personality, Theo had no words to describe her. Luna hopped over and clung onto Theo's arm. Theo, do I look cute? Theo coughed lightly, his gaze focused on the girl's cherry pink lips. Cute indeed. Why did you suddenly dress this way? It's our first official date. Of course, I'm going to dress up. She sure dressed up well. After they went down, Alex opened the door, flabbergasted when he saw the little bunny beside Theo. What the heck? Was something wrong with the lady boss today? Her outfit was so cute. So cute and girlish. It was nothing like her at all. People who did not know her would definitely be charmed by her, but those who did would be shocked. Alex was the latter. He calmed himself down and drove the car to Theo's private flying strip. Luna looked at the helicopter in front of them in amazement. We're taking a flight? Where are we going? You'll see soon. Theo carefully helped her up the helicopter. After 20 minutes, they landed on an open grass area. A private car welcomed them as they touched down. The drive was very luxurious and comfortable, the sceneries along the way soothing to sight. On the journey, Luna saw the facilities here. There was a golf course, a horse paddock, hot springs, a shooting range, and even a ski track. She loved everything here. Theo saw her face sticking to the window in excitement and he gently put her head on his shoulder. Luna pulled on his sleeve and looked up at him with sparkly eyes. Boss, it looks really fun here. Are we really only here for the scenery? Theo, did you hear that? What? The sound of my heart breaking. Theo was speechless. Seeing the girl's disappointment, Theo sighed to the driver, "Go to the horse paddock." Luna was brimming with excitement. Horse riding. She loved horse riding. After arriving, Luna looked at the stables excitedly. She wanted to get on the wildest horse. There was already a group of people at the stables and the owner was helping them to select their horses to ride. Suddenly, one of the good-looking guys from the group stared in their direction. Wow! Theo! Chapter 744. As he saw the man and the bunch of people, Theo was put in an awkward position. He did not expect Jake to organize their gathering here of all places. What? Jake, who did you just mention? Theo? Where is he? Isn't he not coming today? Ah. It really is Theo. Jake's yell was followed by the gaze of the bunch of people, all turning to look at Theo and Luna. Then, they saw the cool and composed Theo in his black suit with a girl in a fluffy pink dress. What was that? What was happening? The girl was clinging onto Theo's arms like a little bunny. Everyone was dumbfounded by what they saw. Luna was confused by the sudden attention from so many people. She blinked her eyes and pulled herself even closer into the devil's arms. Theo ran his fingers through the girl's hair. Jake's mouth twitched, then he turned around and told his friends, "Didn't you guys ask me why Theo wasn't coming today? Here we have it, this is the reason. The bastard betrayed us. He has a girlfriend." What? What did you just said, Jake? Theo has a girlfriend? How is this possible? Are you sure she's not his sister or something? Sister? I don't ever recall my cousin having a sister. A girl quickly went up to Theo, studying Luna carefully. Cousin, this is your future cousin-in-law, Theo casually announced. He then introduced the girl to Luna. This is my cousin, Zoe. Hello. Luna greeted. However, Zoe did not seem very friendly, so Luna did not bother to be very welcoming either. Zoe stammered in surprise, my future cousin-in-law? She's really your girlfriend? Why would he have some weak girlish bunny as his girlfriend? She could not understand Theo's taste. How could he actually like this kind of woman? At that moment, a girl came up behind Zoe. She was dressed in a black riding suit with a whip on her hips. With a pair of sleek boots, her cool outlook matched the fine black horse right beside her. She stood in front of Theo and Luna, staring at Luna, then looking at Theo. Long time no see, Theo. Luna stared back at this woman, her tingling sixth sense instantly ringing warning bells in her head that this woman was bad news. Theo had no change in expression as he replied calmly, "Welcome back." The woman looked at Luna with a pressuring gaze. "Why don't you introduce us?" "My girlfriend, Luna." He looked at Luna and inclined his head slightly. "Willow." Only a name, no other introduction. Luna put up on an innocent expression and greeted Willow. "Hello." She just stuck to Theo and spoke as little as possible. Together with her dressing, her personality had also totally changed into a little bunny. Although Theo knew the girl's obedience was part of her act, his heart melted and his gaze at her was much more gentle than usual. Chapter 745. After they heard the confirmation from Theo, everyone was surprised. That was really Theo's girlfriend. This man who sought no worldly desire, they had been discussing what kind of woman would be able to steal his heart. A gentle one or a gorgeous one? A generous one or a romantic one? Or maybe a strong businesswoman similar to himself? They had thought of countless possibilities, but they did not expect Theo to fall in love with a little bunny. This fluffy cute little thing just stuck right beside Theo. They totally did not make a fitting match at all. But upon closer inspection, they noticed that when the girl was beside Theo, his cold aura was much warmer. When he looked at the girl, it was as if spring had arrived. What a miracle! I actually lived long enough to see the woman who got her hands on Theo. This lady is pretty unique. You're right, I really can't believe that Theo likes this type. This is so frustrating. I thought Theo would like someone who's on the same channel with him, or at least someone who's mature. I've always tried to act cool in front of him. And, he likes some weak little bunny. This doesn't make sense. What is Theo thinking? They don't look good together at all. It's obvious that she only knows how to act cute. Nonsense. Theo is not a normal man. Ignoring the discussions, Jake went up to the both of them with a stormy expression. Damn it. I thought you said that you weren't coming. This was an accident. Jake's mouth twitched again. What a coincidence. Fate brought them together. I've always thought that no matter who betrays me, you'd be the last to do so. Theo, you've really disappointed me. Jake said in a hurt tone. Luna was speechless. Was he cursing Theo to be single forever? But for Theo to be the first among them to have a girlfriend must be really shocking to them. Since you're here already, let's have fun together. Jake invited gleefully. Willow went along as well. It's been some time since we rode. Want to race? Yes, take up the challenge. Jake encouraged him. Theo glanced at the girl in his arms. You guys have fun. She can't ride alone. Jake was annoyed. You'd better stop mocking us single people now. Willow's expression froze and she glared at the ignorant Luna. Luna was crying inside. How could she not ride alone? The devil was just worried that she would go wild and he was going to supervise her personally. Chapter 746. After Theo greeted his friends, he brought Luna to select a horse of her choice. The owner was surprised that Theo would bring his girlfriend over. He quickly led them to the few superior horses he had. Mr. Theo, what do you think of this one? A purebred just imported from the British Royal Horse Barn, the owner introduced his favorites to them passionately. Wow. So cool. Luna's eyes were glued to the midnight black dark horse. Purebred horses from the United Kingdom were well known for their speed in short to medium-length races. One of the horses in the stable was internationally recognized for its speed. The one introduced by the owner was the best of the best, nearly at competition level and even better than the one Willow had selected. Theo stayed silent while looking around. The owner asked Luna, "Do you like it, Ms. Brown?" Luna nodded in enthusiasm. Yes, yes. Theo, let's get this one. It must feel great riding it. She could not wait anymore. In the end, Theo set his eyes on a brown horse. Get that horse over here. That one. Mr. Theo, are you sure? The owner looked uncertainly at the brown horse which was much shorter than others. The owner brought it over. Theo patted its head as the horse gently rubbed his hand. Theo nodded confidently. We'll take this one. Luna was dumbfounded. Theo, isn't this an American pony? Theo glanced at her and shrugged. Why? What's wrong? Luna was on the verge of crying. Of course, there would be a problem. American ponies were exclusively for children. Somewhere nearby, Willow and Jake were racing, and as they saw Theo leading a little pony, Jake accidentally fell off from his horse. Ha 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 ha, Theo. What horse did you pick? This is too hilarious. Jake had to stop the competition, holding one hand up as he just lay on the ground, laughing non-stop. Willow stopped and turned around on her tall purebred. Looking at Jake's mocking and Willow's tall horse, she lowered her gaze to her short pony and almost cried. This was too much. Theo's heart softened when he saw the girl's upset face and he pinched the area between his eyebrows. He went up to her and held her hand, walking towards Jake's cool, dark purebred. After he helped Luna up, Theo joined her, hugging her from behind. Happy now? Her wish granted, Luna patted the horse's head. She was cheered up a lot and she turned around to kiss Theo. Willow did not look very happy seeing both of them acting this way. Jake was practically blinded by their public display of affection. Darn it, I have never expected Theo would act like this with a girl. Willow said coldly, she isn't worthy of Theo. Jake coughed lightly. While that might be true, love isn't about being worthy or not, is it? Although he had only met her a few times, he knew that she was not just a simple little bunny. Chapter 747. Keep going. Willow whipped the backside of Jake's horse. After a lap, Willow won by reaching the finishing line first. Jake looked dejected. "Hey, can't you cut me some slack?" Zoe welcomed her, looking at Willow admirably. "Willow, you're amazing. How do you know so many things, and how do you do better than most people? Even better than the men. The only extraordinary person I know aside from my cousin is you." Zoe then glanced distastefully at Luna, who was in Theo's arms. She wrinkled her nose, comparing the scene in front of her to a high-grade cabbage being hogged by a pig. "You should be the perfect partner for my cousin. I wonder if he's blind. I never thought he'd be as shallow as the other men. How could he be tricked by a woman like this?" Willow stayed silent after she heard Zoe's words, her expression turning frosty. The people around started whispering, apparently agreeing with Zoe's words. Zoe was Theo's cousin, so she could say all she wanted, but the others could only agree in silence without voicing their opinions. The woman that Theo liked was terribly disappointing. If he were to select a woman that was worthy of him, the woman would definitely be Willow. Willow was childhood friends with Theo and Jake. They had grown up together and their family were friends with each other. She was someone of Theo's caliber and many young talented men were fond of her. However, she was only friendly towards Theo and Jake. Her personality matched with that of Theo's. They were the proud perfectionists of their league. When everyone thought she was going to be together with Theo, the unexpected had happened. Her family business had a change in direction, leading to them all migrating overseas 7 years ago. After impressing everyone with her abilities and beauty, she just vanished. Over these years, the Lynch family's business got bigger and better, and it was not unusual to hear about the legend of Willow. With a master's degree in business and administration at such a young age, her abilities were on par with Theo's. Due to her parents' old age and them pining for their home, they decided to move back, so naturally, Willow followed. Everyone thought that with Willow's return, Theo would be together with her soon. Both of them were single and were at the ripe age of marriage. Not to mention, their personalities matched and they looked good together. Some people even thought that Theo had stayed single just to wait for Willow's return. Who would have expected this plot twist? A little bunny had snatched Theo away. Everyone's jaws dropped. Their relationship was such a sudden joke. What was more surprising was that according to Jake, she seemed to be a small celebrity. After they were done riding, Theo helped Luna get down. He did not let her walk. Instead, he held her in his arms until they reached the resting area to avoid her from falling when walking in the soft snow. "Why can't you let her walk? You're pampering her too much," Zoe complained. Theo carefully put Luna on a chair, then poured a glass of hot milk and blew over it to cool it down slightly before extending it to her. "Be careful, it's hot." Zoe's expression darkened. Chapter 748. Everyone else averted their gazes and coughed lightly. What a rare sight. Theo had always been known for being cold and heartless, but that was only because he had not met anyone who could melt his heart before. Their curiosity was piqued. What power did this little bunny possess that could have charmed Theo to this extent? Luna realized that everyone was staring at her. She also felt a particularly cold gaze on her. Luna glanced at Willow, then she asked Theo with her index finger to her chin in contemplation, "What's your relationship to Willow?" "Our family was close when we were little. We sort of grew up together," Theo answered honestly without hiding anything. Luna purposely drawled, "Oh, so the both of you are childhood friends?" Theo nodded. "I guess." Luna pouted in anger. "Hey, Theo. I'm being jealous right now, can't you tell? Why aren't you saying anything else?" Theo was surprised. "You're jealous?" "Of course. Your friends and your little cousin, they all think that Willow is a better match for you. They feel that you're like an exotic flower being paired with bullshit like me." Luna grumbled. She had forgotten, but now she remembered who exactly Willow was. The Lynch and the Goldberg were considered prestigious families in Imperial, but due to some issues with their business, the Lynch had to focus on the overseas market. Nevertheless, their development was growing steadily. Every rumor about Willow revolved around her beauty and talents. All her ratings were extremely positive. She did match Theo well. Theo was taken in by Luna's jealousy and he looked her in the eye with an amused expression. How could you say that? To me, you're the sea, you're the forest. Luna tilted her head sideways in confusion. Why? Theo looked at her like she was the star in the skies. He told her quietly, I love you, like how the fish loves the sea, like how the birds love the forest. There's no use escaping, it's unavoidable. At that moment, an impressive display of fireworks went off in Luna's mind. His flirtatious words were simply tugging on her heartstrings. Suddenly, there was a loud crash as Willow's teacup fell on the floor. Zoe quickly asked, What's wrong, Willow? Willow's face went pale and she shook her head. It's nothing. The others could not hear what Theo and Luna were saying at that distance. But she could read lips and she had been looking at them. Like how the fish loves the sea, like how the birds love the forest. Theo had actually said such lines to a woman. Jake did not realize what had happened, so he went up to Theo and Luna after some rest. Hey, Theo, we are about to go to the shooting range. Are you joining us? Shooting. Guns. Guns. Luna's eyes were shining like a 500-watt light bulb. She could not ride because her leg was injured. But for shooting, she only needed her hands. All right, I know. I shouldn't have asked you. Jake turned to Luna to ask, Little bunny, do you want to go? Luna nodded her head like a woodpecker making a hole in a tree as she pulled on Theo's sleeves. My dear master, may I please go? Yes. Chapter 749. After they reached there, Luna was surprised. She did not expect the shooting range to be that big. It was about 1,500 square feet and there were 2 standard multipurpose shooting ranges, each of them equipped with 9 professionally designed targets. Plus, their collection of guns was incredibly complete. There was even a weapon exhibition on display with a myriad of handguns, rifles, machine guns, and more. Some soldiers also went there often for target practice. Luna was just looking everywhere but in front of her. Had it not been for Theo leading her, she would have already crashed into a pole. Theo's cousin was right when she said he pampered Luna too much. She always left her brain at home whenever she went out with Theo. In fact, she would just follow Theo's every step. As they reached the shooting range, Jake picked out a gun of his choice, intent on revenge. Willow, let's do another round of contest again. I lost at horse riding but I'll get back at you in shooting. Count me in. Me too. Jake's bunch of friends were balanced in terms of gender. While the guys had a strong interest in firearms, the girls were not completely clueless about them either. There were only 2 of them who were asking around for advice on which gun to choose. They soon finished selecting their guns, then they put on their protective glasses and earmuffs, ready to start shooting. Bang bang bang. Shots were fired and each of their scores appeared on the tally counter. The maximum points one could achieve was 10 points and the counter would calculate up to 1 decimal place. Most people get around 8 points while the experienced guys got about 9. Zoe got a 9.2 and she was really happy. I actually got above 9. How lucky. As she turned around, she gaped at Jake's and Willow's scores. They both got the same score of 9.9 points. What a remarkable achievement. Wow. Bro Jake, Willow, you both are so good at this. Finally, the scores for their set of 3 attempts were out. Jake came in at 9.9, 9.7, and 9.8 while Willow got 2 9.9s and 1 9.7. She had beaten Jake by a mere 0.1 point difference. Of course, Willow's score was the highest among everyone's. Some of them were thoroughly impressed. As expected of her. Marvelous. Willow, you're really making us men feel ashamed. Jake complained, damn. I lost again. This doesn't count, let's do it again. Everyone was laughing, ha ha ha. Jake, stop struggling. Among us probably only Theo has a chance at beating Willow. Jake turned to Theo and exclaimed, Theo. What are you doing? Join us. But. The bunny ears on Luna's boots fell off, so Theo squatted down on the floor and helped to fix them for her. Jake's mouth twitched as he saw this lovey-dovey scene. Luna heard them inviting Theo, so she looked at him in surprise. Boss, are you good at shooting? Come, let's see who's better. She then grabbed Theo excitedly. Hey, little bunny, you know how to shoot too? Jake asked in surprise. Luna answered him boldly, of course. I'm good at it. Bang! She took aim and shot the target board. After a moment, the counter displayed her score, 6.3 points. How great! Chapter 750. Looking at the horrible score, Luna was stunned. My outfit must have affected my performance today. Jake laughed, then comforted her, that's pretty good, at least you hit the target. Theo patted her head and tried his hand at shooting as well, scoring 6.2 points. Just slightly lower than Luna's. Jake patted Theo's shoulder and sighed, brother. I'm impressed. This is probably the toughest score you've hit in your lifetime. Theo got a 6.2, which was even more surprising than a 10-pointer. Luna ignored Jake's teasing as she happily went up to Theo to gush, boss, you're so sharp. As Theo was about to say something, his phone rang. It was a call from home. Any sign of expression was wiped off his face as he turned to Luna. You can play on your own first, I'll go and pick up a call. He then signaled to Jake, asking him to take care of Luna. Jake gave him a shooing gesture. Just go and pick up your phone call quickly. Go. The moment Theo left, the people who were wary of him suddenly spoke in much louder voices. That's hilarious. Even the girl who didn't know anything within our group got a 7 and Theo's girl dares to claim that she's good at it? Zoe said scornfully. Another girl shrugged. Maybe it's already good enough for her. At least she hit the target. I'm quite surprised that she didn't miss. Why would Theo be with such a useless woman? I'm really curious. Someone go and ask him. I'm not going to. I'm just being polite because of Theo, but I refuse to be friendly with her. Luna calmly wiped her gun while listening to their discussion. These people were from the wealthy circle of Imperial. They were either the heirs of a wealthy organization or the prince or princesses of some high-ranking government officials. They were just being fairly nice to Luna because of Theo. At that moment, someone told Willow, you and Jake are closer to Bro Shao. Why don't you try to talk to him and tell him not to be fooled by a woman like her? He will eventually find out himself, Willow replied. That'd be too late. The moment he finds out, he would have been deceived. As Zoe listened to them, her face turned bright red. She felt embarrassed and could not accept the fact that her perfect cousin was being fooled by this woman. Boiling with anger, Zoe could not hold it in anymore. She walked up to Luna and demanded, I don't care what did you do to be with my cousin. Tell me what it takes in order for you to leave him. Jake quickly stood in between them and tried to defuse the situation. Hey, what are you doing? We're here to have some fun. Stop making a fuss. I'm not making a fuss. Seriously, how is this woman worthy of my cousin? As Jake was trying to convince Zoe to calm down, Luna curled her fingers around the gun in her hand and blinked innocently. Leaving your cousin? It's easy. You just have to defeat me. Chapter 751. You, what did you say? Defeat you? Zoe was stunned by the proposal. She did not understand what Luna meant. Jake was surprised as well. Luna blinked her eyes again as if she could not fathom why they did not understand her. Shooting. I realized that you guys don't really like me here. So, let's do it this way. If anyone can beat me in shooting, I'll break up with Theo. But if I win, please be friendlier the next time you see me. So, all of them wanted to save Theo from her. All right. Luna would give them a chance. Everyone was dumbfounded by Luna's suggestion. What did this woman just say? Was she out of her mind? It was such a difficult feat to get together with Theo, and she had done something no woman in Imperial had, but her impulsiveness made her bet her relationship with Theo? They thought a celebrity like her would be considerate and good at reading others, so she would not go looking for trouble if she could actually think. But this woman was crazy. How stupid. And how sad for Theo. No one expected things would develop into such a situation. It almost drove Jake mad. Little bunny, what are you doing? Just wait until Theo comes back and everything will be fine. Why are you doing this? Do you really want to break up with Theo? Are you crazy? While the others may not have known, only Jake understood how serious Theo was about this girl. He was really into her. Although he did not understand what was so special about her, he had no comments about his brother's choice. Zoe digested Luna's words as she chewed on her lower lip. Although slightly unbelievable, this woman was this stupid all along. She had initially thought that getting rid of her would be troublesome, but was it really as easy as this? Are you for real? Zoe confirmed her doubts with her. Yes. Luna nodded. Okay, then we're set. I've recorded down what you said just now, so there's no going back on your word. Zoe was satisfied now. Let's get started. Luna stopped her. Wait. Why? Regretting already? Zoe glowered. I'm just trying to reiterate what I said. I said as long as anyone here beats me, so you have to select someone to compete with me. Luna said. Fine, I'll do it. Zoe did not take her seriously at all. For a newbie who got a score of 6.3 points, she would be more than easy to beat. Consider it well. I'd suggest you find the best among your group to compete with me. If not, don't complain that I wasn't being fair. Everyone was speechless by Luna's words. Where did her sky-high confidence come from? Zoe was huffing impatiently, but as she was about to insist on her participation, Willow came over and tapped her shoulder. Zoe, let me do it. Zoe looked at Willow and frowned a little. Willow, she's not worthy of being your opponent. Willow replied, just being cautious. Zoe thought about it. It was such a high chance of beating her, but it would be best to reduce any chances of an accident, so Willow was the best candidate. Willow was the person that was worthy of punishing this idiot woman. Chapter 752. Jake was anxious since he promised Theo to look after Luna. He thought that Theo was just being paranoid, but who'd expect that something like this would happen in just a few minutes of his absence? No. This is nonsense. Jake quickly tried to stop them. Willow glared at him. Jake, don't interfere. How can I not interfere? Willow, she was just messing around. Don't do this. Jake tried to convince her. Luna pouted and grumbled, I'm not messing around. I'm serious about this. At that moment, Jake wanted to shoot himself in the head. Damn it. Just let me die. He had tried so hard to help her, yet she was making things worse. This woman that Theo liked, apparently, no one could fathom her logic and common sense. Jake bro, you can see for yourself. She suggested it and no one's messing around. It's between us women, don't you interfere. Zoe was afraid that Jake would ruin this chance, so she quickly pushed him aside. Apart from the worried Jake, everyone else was excited about what was about to happen. However, it did not seem very interesting since the results were predictable. I don't think this woman would be this stupid. Could she just be acting? Someone mumbled on the side. She? Acting? Even if her shot just now was a mistake, she could not be all that great. She's not competing against Zoe now. It's Willow. It probably wasn't even her full power when she was competing against Jake just now. That's true, then this would probably end up really terribly. You first. Luna said. Willow did not say anything and just put on her protective glasses and earmuffs. She held up her gun and aimed at the target. Her pose was clean and sharp. She obviously had many years of experience. Zoe glanced at Luna. Willow has been training target shooting for about 10 years. You'll never be able to beat her. All the best, Willow. Willow closed her eyes and took a deep breath, trying to focus. Even though Luna looked weak, this was about Theo, and so, she would not allow any mistakes to happen. Everyone stayed still, their breath bated, and even Zoe quieted down as well. Luna slumped on the table and yawned. After a moment, Willow opened her eyes. Bang! 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 3 shots were fired consecutively. Everyone quickly went over and checked Willow's score. Everyone was stunned. First shot, 9.9 points. Second shot, 10 points. Third shot, 10 points. 1 9.9 and 2 full scores. Amazing. This was practically professional skills. Oh my God. Willow, you're the best. Terrific. You're my idol. Zoe gushed excitedly. Chapter 753. Jake was stunned. Damn it. Willow, you monster. Do you really have to do this? She had achieved such high scores just to fend Luna off. If his memory served him well, it was her first time getting such high scores. Jake's expression darkened as he thought about it while intensely looking at the woman with the gun in her hands. Although everyone loved to put Willow and Theo as a couple together, he knew both of them well and he understood that they were just friends. But he was not sure now after Willow had returned. The way Willow was behaving seemed to be pointing towards what everyone suggested. Willow, you're the best. How did you do that? Amazing. Everyone was impressed by her marksmanship. They then looked at Luna expectantly and waited for her to embarrass herself. Just how was she going to handle this? Zoe went up to her like a triumphant rooster, even puffing her chest slightly. Look at that, 1 9.9 and 2 10-pointers. What more do you have to say? Luna glanced at her and shrugged. I have nothing to say. Humph, good. Remember what you said. You're going to break up with my cousin. There are plenty of witnesses here. Zoe was not afraid of her going back on her words. She believed that this woman would not be so shameless. If she were to break her promise, she would never be respected in Theo's circle of friends ever again. Jake feebly spoke, it's just a game, don't take it so seriously. You can't just decide for Theo this way. Zoe stomped her feet angrily and demanded, Jake, what's wrong with you? Why do you keep defending this woman? Willow also frowned and looked at Jake unhappily. Jake clenched his teeth and went up to Luna to plead, quickly tell everyone that you're just joking. Do you really plan to break up with Theo? Luna grumbled, of course not. Jake would have yelled at her if she was not Theo's girlfriend. Instead, he suppressed his anger and ground his teeth. Then, what are you doing? Why didn't you listen to me just now? What are you going to do now? Hey, don't you dare break your promise right now. I'll never forgive you. A shameless woman who goes back on her words is never worthy of becoming my cousin-in-law. Jake was trying to come up with a plan to salvage the situation, but Zoe would not stop pestering Luna. The situation was chaotic. Suddenly, everyone went silent. Theo was back. As soon as Zoe saw Theo, she quickly went up to him and tattled on Luna, cousin. This woman made a bet with us just now. If we beat her at shooting, then she'll break up with you. She already lost to Willow. She actually used you as her betting chip. How hideous. What? Theo froze when he heard what Zoe said. Crap. Why was the devil always there when she was misbehaving? Luna was troubled. Just a moment ago, she was still relaxed. As if trying to get it over and done with, she quickly stood up and shot the target without even looking at it. Bang! 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 She then tossed away the gun and went to Theo, blinking and softening her features. I'd never lose you. The counter rang. The scores were presented. 10 points. 10 points. 10 points. Chapter 754. The girl was looking at him in the eye nervously. Theo, am I not great? Praise me. Theo's expression was as dark as a thundercloud. He had just stepped away for a little while and she already stirred up trouble. Now, she was asking for praises? You're the best, Theo replied. He simply could not resist those eyes of hers. Looking at both Luna and Willow's score, Theo pinched the area between his eyebrows. Just how courageous was this girl? Even with her personality like this, she was still as charming as ever. His heart could not take the moment when she went up to him and told him, "I'd never lose you." He was bound to be with her forever. For entertainment's sake, the counter at the shooting range had special settings. If someone got 10 points consecutively, it would play a celebratory tune and there would be an announcement of the targets that earned a perfect score. As soon as Luna finished her set, there was a loud upbeat tune and the announcement of her perfect streak. All the other customers including Zoe, Jake, and Willow were stunned. The shooting range was set up professionally. In addition to using real guns and bullets, most guests were either really passionate about guns or even professionals, and it was extremely rare for someone to get a perfect score. Luna's streak had caused quite a commotion. Willow's high score was already amazing enough, but all of them froze when they saw Luna's score. Jake could not believe it. What? Are you kidding me? Willow looked lost, unable to accept the result. Zoe held the counter for a closer look. How is this possible? Does the counter have a problem? It must have an issue. Where's the manager? Please check this machine. Luna rolled her eyes at her dramatics as she picked up the gun and released another 3 shots. Another celebratory tune was played, followed by the perfect streak announcement. Second shooting range, 9th target, perfect score. Everyone was speechless. The first time her streak was announced, everyone was impressed, but they were shocked when they heard it for the second time. What the heck? What was happening? Was this for real? It was difficult enough for professionals to get a perfect score consecutively. A large crowd started gathering around to see who was this immaculate marksman. Hey, are you guys here to see who is it from the announcement? Yeah. That's amazing. Could it be from some special operations team? I have no idea. The 9th target, there's just a lady in pink shirt holding a gun now. Could the person who achieved the perfect score have left? As everyone was making wild guesses, an old man in his 50s dressed in a casual outfit passed by with a young soldier beside him. Ask around who the shooter was, the man ordered the young soldier, his eyes looking sharply everywhere like a hawk. Yes, Chief. Chapter 755. Another triple 10 points. Jake gulped anxiously. The little bunny he was looking at suddenly became a monster in his eyes. As he was trying to make sense of what had just happened, he heard someone calling him. Master Jake, Master Jake. Jake turned around, surprised to see a young soldier in his uniform. Aren't you the security for Uncle Sterling, Luis? Yes, that's me. Luis nodded. What's up? Jake asked. I have something to ask. Master Jake, were you here since just now? Luis asked. Yeep, I was. Great. Do you know who got that perfect streak on the 9th target? Luis queried. Jake raised his eyebrows. So, he was here to ask about this. Of course I do. It's that girl. Jake told him, vaguely nodding his head in a direction. A girl? Luis was taken aback. Jake nodded. Yeah. He was already surprised by the fact that it was a girl. What would happen if he knew exactly which girl? Who is it? The lady in black? Luis looked around and asked about Willow. Jake smirked. You're wrong. It's the one in the pink dress, white fluffy coat, and the bunny ear boots. Pink dress, white fluffy coat, bunny ear boots. Luis set his sights on a girl beside a large set, tall man, then he looked at Jake and chuckled. Don't lie to me, Master Jake. The chief ordered me to look for the person. Don't joke around with me. Who's joking? Jake stopped. Your chief is here today? Yes, he's here with a few friends, but when he heard the announcement, he left them and came straight here. It's been a while since I've seen him this excited, Louise said. Jake swiveled around and as expected, he saw a well-built man among the crowd. Who is it? Tell me, please. Is it the man beside the girl in the pink dress? That looks like the CEO of Goldberg Corporation, Theo. Louise said. Jake gave him a mysterious smile. Didn't I tell you? It's that little bunny. He patted Louise on the shoulder. I'll go over and greet your chief. Louise stood there without a word, staring at the cute, young girl in disbelief. How was that possible? If that little bunny could get 6 10-point shots consecutively, then he could have joined the SWAT team. Jake went up to the chief and greeted him warmly. Long time no see, Uncle Sterling. Oh, Jake, are you here with friends? Yeah. Uncle Sterling. I heard from Louise that you're looking for someone. The chief nodded. Do you know the person? Of course. Jake then pointed at Luna. It's the lady beside Theo. Can you see her? I told Louise, but he didn't believe me, so I'm here to tell you personally. Chapter 756. That girl? The chief asked thoughtfully, then said, how old is she? What does she do? Is she still in school? What does her family do? Jake's mouth twitched at his questions. Cough, Uncle Jonathan, what are you trying to do, huh? Even though you have a son, isn't he only 18 years old? Isn't it too early to look for a daughter-in-law now? Most importantly, this girl is already taken. She's Theo's girlfriend. Theo has a girlfriend? The man asked with a serious expression, hiding his thoughts. Yeah, they just started dating not too long ago, answered Jake truthfully as he nodded. The man revealed a thoughtful expression and then said, Jake, help me ask that girl if she is interested to enlist. Jake almost spat at this proposition. Turns out he was thinking of such an idea. But this idea was even more impossible. Jake immediately said, Uncle Jonathan, I suggest you forget it. Theo pampers her like a treasure. He even carried her in fear that she got tired of walking, and he even accompanied her to ride a horse in case she fell off. When he went off for a phone call, he even needed to make sure I took care of her well. To let her enlist is impossible. In fact, she looks much younger because of her dressing today. She has actually already graduated from university and is currently a professional actress. So, the possibility of enlisting is basically zero. The chief looked regretful when he heard this. That's such a pity. Jake was sweating profusely. Before this, he had heard his father talking about how Jonathan would not let go of talents with excellent marksmanship. It seemed like this was true. He even wanted to cross Theo's boundaries. While Jake was conversing with Jonathan, Luna picked up the gun once again. Jonathan instantly focused his gaze on the girl. Bam! 6 points. Bam! 3 points. Bam! 3 points. Bam! 2 points. Jake's eyeballs were about to fall off as he watched Luna hit all those crazy targets. That's not right. Uncle Jonathan, I'm not lying to you, those 6 perfect scores in a row previously were shot by her. Maybe she's not consistent in execution. Before this, she also scored a 6-pointer. My God. Was this brat messing with him? What was with these shots? He was about to get a heart attack. Jonathan seemed not to notice at all. His eyes followed Luna's aim, one shot after another, then they started to widen. After the last shot, Jonathan could not help but laugh gleefully. How interesting. This little girl is really interesting. Jake was confused. Huh? What was so interesting? Why couldn't he see it? After the little bun was done with shooting, she shyly walked towards Theo's side and tried to please him by signing a heart with her hands. She then said to Theo, I know my mistake now. Sarangio, big boss. My God. It's a heart. Those who were watching Luna shoot gasped when they saw her target sheet from earlier. Jake looked at the target sheet too and instantly shouted, My God. The bullets Luna had shot earlier had really created traces of a heart shape. My lord. How was this a little bunny? This was practically a witch. No wonder Theo had been charmed silly by her. Chapter 757. Jonathan looked at the target sheet and looked wistful. This girl is interesting indeed. Back in the day, this was the trick I used to court my wife too. Pfft. Jake looked shocked. I wouldn't have known. Uncle Jonathan, were you so skilled at picking up girls back then? Of course. Jonathan's solemn face revealed a barely noticeable delight. He was old now, so he had to be serious and lead the talents, thus he always had an expression of old-fashioned rigor. When he was younger, he had been very romantic. Jake, help me introduce us. I want to get to know this child, Jonathan suddenly said. Okay. Uncle Jonathan, follow me. Crap, had he not given up? Never mind, I shall let Theo resolve this by himself. Jake could not reject him, so he led Jonathan towards Theo and Luna. When he saw the man beside Jake, Theo's eyes dimmed. Mr. Jonathan. Theo, your father, is he healthy and well? Thank you for your concern, all is well with father. Good, probably because military men were more impatient. Jonathan had barely made a few sentences of small talk before he eagerly turned his gaze towards Luna beside Theo. Little girl, those 6 perfect shots in a row earlier, were they all by you? When he noticed her timidness, Jonathan, who was usually cold and serious, had softened his tone unusually and even bent slightly to make his figure not so intimidating. Luna subconsciously looked at Theo before nodding. Even though the man who spoke to her had worn a casual outfit and his attitude was very friendly, that cold-blooded aura that belonged to military veterans could not be disguised. In fact, he was obviously someone of high position. Luna was inevitably much more careful. She watched her words and waited to see what his intentions were. Nice, little girl, you're quite amazing. How many years have you trained for? Jonathan continued to ask. I haven't really trained. When I want to, I'll play around, answered Luna honestly. Jonathan was stunned for a while, the light in his eyes shining brighter. Then, little girl, you have talent. Do you like shooting? Luna nodded earnestly. I do. Then, do you want to shoot every day? Jonathan's voice was even gentler now. Luis was speechless as he watched the usually fearsome chief try to coax this girl. The chief had really given his all to Poland talents. Theo took notice of Jonathan's intentions and pulled Luna into his embrace before reminding in a deep voice, Mr. Jonathan. This was when Jonathan cleared his throat and straightened up. He then gave Luna his name card. Little girl, next time if you want to shoot, you can look for me. This shooting range is not suitable for you. You need something more professional. More professional? Luna peeked at the black name card in her fingers, then tried to test him. Is it the Northern Shooting Range? Jonathan nodded. Yes, the very one. Luna instantly glowed. That was the most professional shooting range and it was a national-level range. In fact, ordinary civilians would have no access to it. I hope that we will have a chance to meet again, Jonathan said his final words before leaving with regret written all over his face. After the man left, Luna looked at the name card that only had a name and handphone number printed on it. She asked, Jonathan, who is this man? Chapter 758. Jonathan, who is this man? Why did this name sound a little familiar? You remember Tiffany, one of your rivals? That's her father. Now, you know, Jake said. She had heard that the Sterling family wanted to matchmake Tiffany with Theo, but there was obviously no chance of that now. Who knew that they would unexpectedly bump into Jonathan here today? And Jonathan had almost poached Theo's treasure away. However, there was a benefit out of this. Now that Jonathan knew Theo had a girlfriend, he probably would not think about matchmaking them again. What? Jonathan? That legendary Major General? I heard that he was the Special Task Force's head sniper when he was younger. His father, Alexander's marksmanship was extraordinary as well. Their family has quite a few sharpshooters. Yeah. Sadly, Jonathan's own sons and daughters never joined the army. This is probably one of his life's biggest regrets. Especially the son. As Imperial's infamous rich playboy, he already started to stir up trouble at such a young age. The Sterling family has such good genes. How did that punk's genes suddenly change? As she listened to the discussion around her, Luna finally knew who the chief was. Tiffany's father, Jonathan. Technically, he was her uncle by blood. This was such a coincidence. Outside the shooting range, Jonathan hopped on a militant SUV and looked somewhat absent-minded. A moment later, he said to the guard beside him, "Luis, help me investigate that girl's background." Luis nodded, "Yes, Chief." Jonathan looked out of the car window as the scenery passed by in a whirl, sighing in sorrow. The Sterling family had enlisted in the army for several generations until the generation after his. His daughter, Tiffany, was not interested in weaponry or the army at all. She had been raised by her mother to be a lady. His son, Margot, was an even more useless child he wished he had not had. Now that he had met a girl who had such an unexpected talent in shooting, he felt both emotional and envious. He wondered who her parents could be. In the shooting range, Luna was still staring at the name card when it was whooshed out of her hands unexpectedly. Theo had taken it away. Luna instantly puffed up her cheeks and looked up at him. "Theo, why did you take my name card? You don't need this. If you want to go, I'll bring you," Theo said with a poker face. Luna naturally knew what he was thinking and she could not help but laugh. "Don't worry. My biggest hobbies in this lifetime is acting and you. I won't hook up with some army general. How could I bear to leave you?" The devil indicated his satisfaction towards Luna's reply. Zoe felt angry as she watched the two of them acting so lovey-dovey. Luna had even unexpectedly been favored by Jonathan. "Bro, even if she won this time, it is a fact that she used you as a bet. This woman does not respect you at all. She doesn't even care about you. Bro, haven't you ever thought what would happen if she lost?" Theo shot her a cold look then said stonily, "I will go back to her myself." Zoe's expression was gloomy and Jake almost fell over. His answer was too savage. Willow, who was watching from the sidelines, bit her lip. Theo had already lost all his principles with this woman. Luna, on the other hand, was so touched that she felt tears well up in her eyes. Even if she lost him, he would come back to her himself. The devil was just too sweet. For the devil, she would be obedient from now on. No more nonsense. Chapter 759. Zoe was still annoyed and he turned speechless when Theo's gaze turned extremely cold to look towards him to say, "If the way I introduced her to you before was not clear enough, then let me repeat myself. She is your cousin's-in-law. Watch your attitude." Before this, he had introduced her as future cousin-in-law. Now, she was simply introduced as cousin-in-law. He was actually implying that he would definitely marry this woman. It was to warn Zoe and everyone else not to mess with her. After Theo said this, he led Luna away. Behind them, Zoe's face paled. Her cousin was for real. Was he just messing around? Was he actually prepared to marry this woman? This time, because Luna had revealed her earth-shattering marksmanship earlier, everyone's attitude magically changed. Indeed, we shouldn't have doubted Master Theo. This girl really did amaze us all with a single brilliant feat. No wonder she could charm the socks off Theo. Exactly, that marksmanship, wow, amazing. I remember very clearly that the first time, she did not wear any earmuffs or eye goggles. She did not even look at the target. The second time, she also did not aim at all. She simply fired 3 shots and that last pickup move of a heart shape on the target was even more extraordinary, at last, even Major General Sterling was shocked. Is that woman really just a normal C-list actress? Who knows? What's the big deal? Even though she is not entirely useless, she only has one such skill. Zoe mumbled as she clung onto Willow's arm. Willow, don't stoop to the levels of those people. It's just a little trick to fool everyone. Willow's expression was heavy in thought. It seemed like she had underestimated that woman. However, her face soon returned to her usual arrogance and indifferent expression. This time, she had only made a mistake because of her underestimation. After Theo left, Jake observed Willow's expression quietly. Her gaze kept changing. Finally, he pulled her to a corner. What's up? Willow asked with a frown. Jake put a hand on his hip while the other held his forehead. He circled several rounds on the same spot, then said with an irritable expression, "Should be the one asking you this. What's up with you? The way you're acting today is so weird. What are your intentions? What do you think my intentions are? Could you be interested in Theo?" Jake involuntarily tightened his hand into a fist. Didn't you only treat him as a good brother all this while? That was because the timing was not right before this. So you're saying you really like Theo? Jake's expression instantly changed and his tone turned serious. But he already has a girlfriend now, so what do you want to do? Do you want to be a third party in this? She's just a girlfriend. I have the right to a fair competition. You're crazy. Jake suddenly felt like he had never really known the person in front of him. Willow was firm with her stand. I'm just taking back what was originally mine. For as long as she could remember, there was only one person in her eyes. And that was Theo. They had the same IQ, the same interests and hobbies, the same family background. All of these made them exceptionally compatible. That was why she was not rushed at all. She had always thought they had such great chemistry, that they were destined to be together. So, even though she had left for many years, she never doubted this one bit. Only she never would have thought. The moment she returned, what was originally determined by fate up till then had unexpectedly changed. However, it did not matter. She would reverse this unexpected change. Chapter 760. After they left the shooting range, Theo brought Luna to an open space covered in white snow. After being disturbed for so long, they could finally return to their cocoon of two. Not far away, there was a small house with a glass dome, and behind that house was a forest of pine trees. Beside the house was a little road with an adorable Alaskan Malamute dragging a sleigh along it. Luna marveled at the scene in front of her after they got down from the car. Wow, it's so pretty here. Almost like a fairy tale world. I'll bring you to a real fairy tale-like world when we get a chance. The resort here was just an imitation of the igloos in Finland. It had started to snow, so Theo used a thick blanket to wrap her up, then carried her and walked towards the small house. After he opened the door, Theo put her down carefully. The house was covered in a huge and warm white velvet rug, and opposite it was a lit fireplace, radiating warm air. On top of the rug opposite the fireplace was a coffee table with hot and tasty food, such as crab salad with peanut dressing, banana lemon tarts, Mexican cheese pancakes, camembert cheese, roast beef with pear reduction, Vietnamese rice paper salmon rolls. Every inch of the table was filled up. Luna was starving after an entire day of fun. Just as her appetite was being whet by the incredibly delicious aroma, Theo suddenly whipped out a bouquet of red roses in a vintage brown lambskin wrap to give to her. For you. Luna blinked and accepted it, feeling very flattered. She leaned in to smell it and was met with a cool, crisp fragrance. It was as if the bouquet of roses had just been cut from its branch. The petals still had trembling dewdrops on it, and they looked full of passion and life. Luna randomly thought of the meaning behind red roses. I think red roses represents passionately in love. Theo quietly watched the girl who hugged the bouquet of roses to her chest, her face even more charming than the flowers. Do you like it? Luna nodded and subconsciously looked up at the glass dome above her. It was warm inside, yet they could watch the blizzard of snow outside. I like it, it's so romantic. Why is everything so grand today? She was a little dumbfounded. Today is the 5th day of our relationship, answered Theo. Time really flew by. In a blink of an eye, it was already only 2 days away from a week's time. What about the 5th day? Is there some special meaning? Luna did not really understand the devil's thought process. Didn't people usually commemorate 100 days, 1 year, 3 years, and so on? What did the 5th day mean? Theo replied, to me, every day of knowing you is special. Luna was speechless. Okay, my king. You win this time. All the good food the devil had prepared was lip-smackingly good. Luna touched her round tummy consciously. She had shamelessly ate a lot. After eating, Luna hugged the blanket by the fireplace while lazily snuggling up in Theo's embrace. As she recalled the things that happened earlier that day, she could not help but exclaim, Theo, I suddenly realized I have many romantic rivals. Tiffany just left and now there was another, Willow. Theo looked at her plainly and said, more rivals than I do? These 3 words, how ruthless of him. What? Nonsense. How do you have many romantic rivals? Luna vehemently denied. Do you want me to count them out for you? The scariest thing was that he not only had to be wary of men, he had to be wary of women too. Cough, no need for that. Okay. She would not dare to complain that she had many romantic rivals anymore,